I'm here with Brandon, our dedicated suspension professional. Tell
Hello,
me a
dude.
little bit about what you're working on today.
So this is a Fox Float DPS early model from an older Yeti SB115. I offered the customer some advanced tuning, some custom valving, and basically what we're doing is we have a bike that kind of has an archetype, a race archetype, and kind of have more of like a general user experience that we desire from it. And so these are all factory parts, and we're basically, it's kind of interesting, we're changing the piston and the valve stacks, so also called shim stacks. And what we're doing is we're changing the damping profile so that it is a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more compliant. And that'll just keep the bike a little bit more planted. The wheel will track the tire will track the ground a little better traction, and overall a little bit less of a stiff ride.
And what did the customer bring in this shock and fork for?
So this bike's just in for regular service. It's just in for regular service, and the way that I approached it was I went ahead and ran the serial numbers and got the valve codes and sold the customer on what I was actually going to do instead of just selling custom valving. We discussed, briefly, like explaining the different damping profiles. This older piston here is what's called produces a digressive damping profile regarding compression and actually rebound. But this piston here that we're updating it to produces a linear compression damping profile, and what that does is it just makes the bike more plush. The damping profile is more plush without affecting ride height. This customer actually was fitted on this bike and was really particular about the spring rates, wanted all of his settings recorded. So I recorded his settings, went over them with him, and in this case I'm not going to touch the spring curves, so we're going to run the same spring curves using the factory volume spacers. We're going to use the same spring rate that he came in with. All we're doing is manipulating the damping profiles and the peak damping levels to make the ride more comfortable. And honestly, the bike is going to feel sick. This goes a long way. We do settings documentation with service. I will do settings documentation with service. That goes a long way as well. But this provides a next level wow kind of experience.